Now I want to get to something interesting because I brought up AI. And I know a lot of people out there associate me with the sport of basketball, so you're going to think I'm talking about Allen Iverson. No, I'm not talking about Allen Iverson. I'm talking about something totally different because I saw an interesting article that I wanted to throw by y'all because I want to tell y'all something. You got to pay attention. See, that's what I do. I don't just pay attention to now. I pay attention to tomorrow and the next day and the next year because I like to see stuff coming. And I have an idea of where we go from here. And I got to tell y'all something. I was reading something where, speaking at the Wall Street Journal's CEO Council Summit in London just this past Wednesday, this guy, Eric Schmidt, Schmidt, he's the former Google CEO, said his concern is that artificial intelligence could pose existential risk, and governments need to know how to make sure the technology is not misused by evil people. An existential risk is defined as many people harmed or killed, Schmidt said. And for those of you who haven't been paying attention, the future of AI has been thrust into the center of conversations among technologists and policymakers grappling with what the technology looks like going forward and how it should be regulated. You know what I thought about when I read this story? iRobot, the movie with Will Smith. Remember that? Remember Sonny? Remember him? Remember the robot that kept his grandma locked in the house, in the apartment that she was in, and wouldn't let her out? Remember that? Remember those robots that invaded the police station and took all the officers down? Remember that? Remember Vicky, the big machine that was controlling all of them? Remember that? Artificial intelligence. Ladies and gentlemen, these are the kind of things that they're talking about. They're not just talking about machines doing things. They're talking about the threat of machines replacing human beings. Remember when you saw one of those iRobots that Will Smith in the movie could not stand? And it's showing him at the kitchen table and he's chopping stuff up. I don't know whether it was onions or whatever the case may be. Remember how fast he was doing it? You remember how the grandma looked at Will Smith and said, "Come on, baby. You really got to get over this. Oh, they hurt you so bad. I'm so sad for you, but I'm going to pray for you." Remember that? Because Will Smith had no trust for the robots. Because they were making decisions based on numbers. The probability when Will Smith and that little girl, the car fell into the river, and he had an opportunity to save the girl or save Will Smith, but the robot said it was less of a probability that she could be saved before Will Smith could be saved. So he saved Will Smith and let the little girl die. See, I watch these movies now. I love all of that stuff. I love comedy. I love action all the time. I don't like to see people getting eaten. Jaws, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. I don't like that. I'm not a National Geographic guy, although I love the fact that Disney owns it. I don't like the wildlife and all this stuff. I want to see lions eating zebras and all. I don't like that stuff. That's not, you know, I don't want to see the movie from years ago, Food of the Gods, with a bunch of rats. I want to see that stuff. Okay? But stuff like this, I like. Because that kind of stuff, it reminds you of what the potential is out there for the world that is forthcoming. The fact of the matter is that businesses are efficient. They're looking for efficiency. And they'll take it. Before it was the American citizen. Then it was the American citizens and immigrants, even though one would argue immigrants have always been in this country. Said, I'm not debating any of that. I'm just making a point that slowly but surely we've lent ourselves more towards machines and less towards human beings. With human beings, you don't have to worry about the emotions. With human beings, you don't have to constantly worry and challenge the efficiency. With human beings, you don't have to worry about personal feelings, getting in the way of business, etc. I don't support this stuff. I don't like it. It scares the living hell out of me that we got to worry about artificial intelligence. I mean, human beings, human interaction is what it's all about. Imagine for 1 second that you worth $1 billion and you on the top of the world, you on the top of the heap, and you could go to the best hotels, and you go to the best restaurants, and you go to the best vacation spots. How would you feel if you were all alone? How would you feel if you achieved all of that success, but nobody else had it and nobody else was around, and walking the streets of America or anywhere else in this world resembled what the streets looked like when COVID first hit us and this nation was on lockdown? Who the hell wants that? You want to be successful. You want to enjoy your life. You want to live it up. True. But you want to see others enjoying the same level of success, because that's what living is. It ain't living if you the only person that's doing anything and you by your damn self. And all of these people that have been speaking about artificial intelligence and the way it can affect our society. When you got things that can replace human beings, machines. That's what I think about when I think about artificial intelligence. I don't know all the details. I'm not trying to speak like I'm an aficionado on this damn subject. I'm just talking about what I read and the kind of things these people are saying. It's scaring the living hell out of me. Because at some point, you got a few that's going to finance stuff like this and make you feel like, yeah, this is the wave of the future. Not taking into account the human element and how as a society, we should all aspire to live together and live amongst one another. That's not the kind of stuff they're preaching for the future. That might explain why people act up from time to time. Riots, shootings, violence, just a dismissive attitude or uncaring nature towards your fellow man and woman. Because everybody sees the disintegration of our society coming right at us. And they might be screaming, "Don't you care? Don't you care?" And they can't take it anymore when too many power brokers in society are showing them, no, we don't. That's what artificial intelligence has me scared about right now. And if you think about it, you're probably pretty damn scared too.